What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I decided to make a video for you to help you learn how to remove a lot of that horrible background noise from your audio recordings. For example, the sound on the street, the sound coming from your front door, maybe from your kitchen, your garden, the AC noise, the fan noise, all this sort of hums and stuff like that that you don't want on your recordings, okay? First of all, just to be clear, I use a couple of things to do this, right? I use a Rode StreamerX for one thing, and I use a Rode NTG4, which is a shotgun mic. I'll tell you why I use these. First of all, the Rode StreamerX, the hardware itself, does have plugins installed that can help you mitigate some of that background noise. Really important part here. Secondly, the microphone that I mentioned, it doesn't have to be the Rode NTG4. It can be any shotgun mic. Shotgun mics, what they do is they capture audio just here, right? They don't capture audio from behind or from the side and so on. For example, like this. If I speak around here like this, you can't really hear it. But the moment I come back into view, the mic just picks up what's in front of you. This is actually a very important piece of hardware to have in your setup. And thirdly, the other thing I do is I use some little tricks in OBS to help remove some of that background noise too. So let's get going. I'm just going to record this, not going to do any post-prod editing, anything like that. I'm just going to show you what I do. I think the first place to start is probably turning everything that I use off so that you can hear what it sounds like. As a bass test, this is what I have now. Very, very sort of silent background noise, but just so that you know, in the background right now, I can hear a dump truck. There are some cars and stuff like that. I don't know if they're coming up in the recording. I guess we'll find out, right? But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off everything so that you can hear sort of what it should sound like, right? So first things first is I'm going to start in my Rode software. I will get into this in more detail in a second. I'm going to turn off my noise gate, and I'm going to go and turn off the noise suppression and the expander in OBS. Now then, you should notice now a considerable difference in background noise. There's the dump truck I was talking about. Maybe it's coming up on the mic. And the thing is, this is probably what your mics are being recorded like straight away when you plug in. Of course, there's lots of other videos on YouTube to help you understand how to clean these up. Maybe you've looked at those too. This is how I do it. So I think the next step was what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the beginning of the audio chain, which actually is my StreamerX by Rode. Okay, so let's get back to my desktop. Now, as I mentioned before, on this piece of hardware, it does have a load of like effects plugins. For example, from compressors to exciters to high-pass filters, equalizers. All of those really just change the sound of the recording. But the most important one, really, in my opinion, on this piece of unit, at least for my usage, is the noise gate. So this is what it sounds with it off. Yeah. And now I'm going to turn it on. You'll see already it's really sort of removes some of that background noise immediately. It's not too harsh. You can make it very, very harsh on this particular plugin. You can get it to remove sound to an almost dead 0 decibel level, but it doesn't sound natural. It's removing a little bit and allowing the voice to come in clearly without hearing clearly like a gate opening and closing. Okay, that's step one. Step two is on my microphone channel in OBS, we're going to open up the mic. We're going to add a filter. No, I do have some other filters on here already that are currently active, the equalizer, the limiter, and the gain. Please ignore those for now. Those are just sound enhancements and little safety measures to stop things peaking and stuff. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be using these two. Noise suppression and the expander. So again, listen out what we've just done. We've just added the StreamerX noise gate, and this is what it sounds like. Next thing we're going to do is add a noise suppression, which is our noise with OBS. This will make a considerable improvement, just so you know. Wow, what a huge drop in silence. You know, like it's gone really dead quite quickly. It's removed a lot of that ambient noise that we don't want. The recording may not be perfect. There may be little artifacts here and there, but I tell you what, when you're watching a video and when you're recording games and stuff like that, you won't notice any of that. You probably might notice it now because I'm just talking and there's nothing going on in the background, right? but it's very, very, very clear. There's very little noise, and there's very little, all the ambient sort of background noise has been pretty much removed. Now, the next step, what I do is I now use the expander in OBS. It's funny, what an expander does is kind of like the opposite of a compressor. I don't really want to get into sort of too much on sort of the mechanics on how these things work, but it's a nifty little trick that I've found using the expander to then take it one step further to kill that background noise once and for all. Okay, now I'm going to turn it on and you can hear the difference. So this is with it off. There is some background noise I can hear. I'm not sure if that's coming up in the recording. And now I'm going to turn the expander on. Boom. Everything gone. Everything's gone. And like I said, there may be some tweaks in sort of the sound and stuff like that. Maybe some artifacts here heard in the final recording, but what it's done, we're doing every effort here to remove all of the background noise completely, and it makes a huge difference. Yeah, it sounds great. Okay, guys, so that's sort of what I do. Obviously, I do use a lot of other effects plugins to obviously enhance the audio. I equalize stuff. I use limiters to stop things peaking. I use preamps. I use de-essers to get that S sounds from your audio recordings away. I'm probably going to make another video on some of the stuff like that. But for now, this is how you remove some of the background noise in OBS. I hope you found it useful. Until next time, over and out.